Hello, everyone. Welcome to another podcast presented by the My Québec City series, where we provide quality stories and various topics for you. So listen in, learn something new, and most importantly, enjoy. Cats are interesting creatures. Anyone that owns one as a pet will know that they can be quite hard to understand at times. It seems like they're always meowing annoyingly, scratching at everything in the house, and trying to stick their heads into bottles, and yet we still love them, like family. I can assure you that these strange but adorable animals have much more to them than meets the eye. My name is Joseph Bouchard, and in this episode, I will be sharing with you 4 fun facts about cats. Starting with the first fact, cats show their emotions with their body language. I'm sure most of you already know that their tails are a good sign to know how they feel. But did you know that their ears and eyes show this as well? Let's go through each one. For the tail, if it is standing up straight, it means the cat is happy, curious, or alerted. If the fur is standing up, it means that they are angry or scared. If their tail is pacing back and forth aggressively and quickly, that means they are very angry or very scared. However, if it's pacing back and forth but in a calmer manner, that means they are really happy or excited. Lastly, if the tail is low or between the cat's legs, that means they are nervous or worried. Now for the ears. If the cat's ears are positioned forward, that means they are interested in or alerted by something, or simply happy. However, if their ears are flat and sideways, this means that they are angry or scared. If the ears are turning around, that means the cat is being very attentive and is trying to listen to every small detail in the room. And finally, the eyes. When the cat's pupils constrict, or when the center of their eyes becomes smaller, this represents aggression. However, when their pupils are dilated, or when the center of their eyes become bigger, this means that they are excited or shocked. Hopefully, with these new tips in mind, you can read a cat's emotions much easier. On to the second fact. I'm sure you all know that cats can see pretty well in the dark. However, you might be surprised to know that their overall eyesight is actually not that good. Do you want to know what sense they have that is good though? Their smell. In fact, their smell is so good that it's their main method to communicate with others. Let me explain. Every person or animal in the world has a unique smell to them. However, only certain creatures, such as cats, are able to detect this, which means that cats are able to tell apart different people just by their smell. On that note, you may have wondered why cats sometimes open their mouths after sniffing something strong. It's because they have a special feature called the phlegm response. I won't get too scientific, but basically, cats have a special organ in their bodies called the Jacobson's organ. And this organ allows them to analyze certain strong odors to know who it came from or to understand their environment better. Other animals, such as goats and horses, have this as well. So next time you notice your cat opening its mouth wide after sniffing your shoe, it might not be because it smells bad, but because it is trying to analyze the scent. And now, fact number 3. Have you ever wondered how many cat breeds there are? To answer your question, there are over 70 of them. Obviously, there's too much to cover, so why don't we go through some of the most interesting cat breeds? I'm sure you've all heard of the Sphinx, the well-known hairless cat. But actually, it's not true. Even though it may not look like it, Sphinxes actually have a small amount of fur on their bodies. However, this fur is not enough to warm them up in cold temperatures, so they'll need a blanket or plenty of hugs to make up for it. What about the Maine Coon, the biggest cat breed to exist? Their length can go as high as 100 centimeters, which is bigger than an entire guitar. At first glance, you might think it's a dog. Or if that's too big, what about the Singapura, the smallest cat breed? They go as little as 15 centimeters, which is as small as a toothbrush, but preferably Don't use one to clean your teeth. And for the fourth and final fact, cats like to mark their territory. This is actually very common for a lot of animals, such as dogs, but you may be surprised to know that cats do this as well. Though, we hear the term marking territory pretty often, but what does it mean exactly? It's when an animal uses a certain method, usually urinating, to claim a specific area in order to show that they are the ruler, which will sometimes scare off other animals. However, cats can mark their territory in other ways too. When they scratch objects, for example, it's not just to trim their claws, but it's also to place a sign of their presence. Cats also rub their bodies against objects as well as their owners to leave their scent as part of claiming territory. Yes, you heard me right. They will mark their owners too. Cats perceive their owners as part of their territory, but not in a bad way. It means they have a very strong connection with their owner. So if you notice your cat ever rubbing against you, remember that it is a very strong sign of affection. And those were 4 fun facts about cats. As a quick recap, cats show their emotions with their body language, they have heightened senses to smell, there are over 70 cat breeds, and they like to mark their territory. Hopefully you learned something new, and maybe you'll even consider buying a cat of your own. They do make wonderful pets after all. Thank you for taking the time to listen to today's podcast, offered to you by My Québec City. Don't forget to follow us if you're willing to learn more, and as always, have a wonderful day.